Hello, hello. We are live. Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Poor, and I am so excited to come to you with some fun, in my opinion, fun training today. In my consulting business, 320 Consulting, I love to bring tools and resources to anybody who is a current business owner or community leader, board member or board leader, or anyone that's truly a leader in any area that you serve, because I believe that we are all created on purpose for a purpose, and my passion is to help you live your life's purpose. Well, today's training is going to help you do just that. And it is titled, What the SOP? I came up with that name because my husband loves to say, What the? And then I always jab him, like, what's the next thing? And one of the scary things that I think organizations face is the process of creating processes for growth. We have these visions and these dreams around growth and strategies and things that we want to do. But one of the daunting tasks that we have is actually putting it on paper and making it happen. So, with my consulting business, whether I am working with my Mary Kay Beauty advisors, with my husband's business, or other individuals that are starting or growing a small business, I get so much joy in helping them create the consistency that comes with standard operating procedures. In our chimney company, what we call it is rules of the game. If we throw something out there called an SOP or a standard operating procedure, that kind of makes people's stomach hurt a little bit. They're like, what is going on? This seems so corporate. I don't understand. And so we have called it, after working with a coach for a couple of years, we have called our standard operating procedures rules of the game, because everybody can relate to that, right? Back when we were kids and we were playing Yahtzee, the first thing we would do is pull out the rule card and it would say, do this, do this, do this. Monopoly. Now, I will tell you that I finagled the Monopoly rules a little bit. We always put the extra $200 in the middle of the board. I can't remember what that's called, free parking, right? But we always went back to the rules of the game. And when you are in business for yourself, or you're on an organization board, or maybe you're a leader of an organization, you got to know what the rules are, and your team has to know what the rules are as well. So that way you can all be rowing in the same direction, playing the same game, and supporting the mission and the vision of the organization that you're trying to create. So, one of my favorite things is helping a small business identify their SOP, or rules of the game. Why it's important. If you're in a growth mindset and you are wanting to take your business or organization to a new level, a new place, a new vision, but not everybody is on board, or nobody really understands where to go, or what your path is, or what lane to hang out in, they can't participate with you, right? They don't have the resources, they don't have the understanding, maybe they don't have the vision that you had, and they don't know how to run that race with you. So creating the rules of the game, or standard operating procedures, gives them a winning opportunity. I don't know about you, but I've worked in organizations where I didn't know the rules of the game. And I showed up and I was excited to be there, and I was wanting to give my 110%, but I always seemed to fall short, because what I thought was the right thing to do, and what the manager thought was the right thing to do, or the leader thought was the right thing to do, didn't match up. We didn't have standard operating procedures in place. We didn't have a clear connection between their vision and the activities that led to the fruition of that. That's the downside of not having a standard operating procedure. People don't know how to play the game that you're playing, and they don't know how to win, and they can't help you win. So I want to say that truly is what makes it so very important. Who needs standard operating procedures? Well, truly, anybody does, right? When I was a independent beauty consultant, and I was just a solo consultant, and I didn't have any team members, and I didn't really have anybody working with me, I needed my processes documented so that every single one of my customers got the exact same service every time, so I could create consistency. As I became a leader in that organization, I needed to create consistency so I could help my people create consistency. In our brick and mortar company, we when my husband was the solo person doing the job, and he was struggling between, this customer need and this customer need, he wanted to create and embrace consistency. He had to create a standard operating procedure. And what I learned working with him after being in the financial services industry for like 20 years almost, was that we had to write our own standard operating procedures. Nobody was going to write it for us, right? When I was in the bank, we had this thing called branch operating book. We called it the Bob. And anytime something came up and we wanted to know how to handle a situation, or how to handle a client, or how to file an escalation, or how to whatever it was, we just went to the Bob, and it was like this indexed document, and we would go in, and it's like, okay, this is what you do in this situation. And when I came on board with my husband's business, I was like, okay, where's our Bob? Like, where did he go? Well, the truth is we had to create one. And that was a myth that a lot of small businesses that I work with believe. They think that somebody is going to create that process for them, or they think that if I create processes, I'm going to be so rigid that I don't have the ability to be flexible and provide services the way I want to in my own organization. And let's just bust that myth right there. A standard operating procedure is based on you. It's based on your goals. It's based on what it is that you want to accomplish within your vision of your organization, your small business, or whatever it is that you're creating that standard operating procedure for. It doesn't make you rigid. It makes you consistent. It allows you to have a place to play and ways to work. So one of the things that I got to do in working at our company, and that I've modeled as I work with other businesses and help my beauty advisors, is we created this list and compiled this list of areas within our business that were important to have standard operating procedures for, or like I said, rules of the game. So in our brick and mortar company, the things that we've created really solid rules of the game, SOPs for, are things like how we answer the phone. Do you know you can spend all the money in the world as a business owner in marketing, and you can spend all the money in the world that you want to in Facebook, and you can spend the money wherever you like on product technology. But if the person answering your phone does not model the type of relationship or the type of service that you want to provide, and there's inconsistency there, all that money is wasted. All of that time was wasted. All of those resources were wasted because you've lost clients because they didn't match up with what your expectations were from your employees to the client's needs to what your vision was. So creating a standard operating procedure around that was so important. For my skincare company that I work with and that I love, one of the things that is so important to have a standard operating procedure around for that is how I follow up with customers, right? Again, back to spending all this money on marketing and research development and all those things, it costs so much more to go out and find new clients than it does to retain the amazing ones that God's already blessed you with, right? So having a good standard operating procedure around how to take care of your existing clients is critical. Other things that we've found that we need SOPs for, and I'm just going to go over just a real couple of quick things with you. Corporate systems, what your organization chart looks like, taking orders. How do you process orders from your clients? Is that a consistent process? What about how you communicate? We have a standard operating procedure on how we communicate changes in the services, how we communicate promotions that we are running, so that ourselves as the owners, our employees who are representing our company, and our clients get the communication in the way that is necessary. Our warranty processes, in our chimney company, we warranty the work that we do. So we have to have a process in place for what that looks like. How do our employees honor that? How do our customers receive the benefit of it? Even in my skincare business, there's like a warranty, a customer satisfaction around that. And so we have to have a standard operating procedure in place for it. So Standard operating procedures are so important. And one of the things that I learned as building all of our businesses and now helping others create or build their small business is that it becomes something that we think is this huge daunting task. We're like, oh my gosh, I've got to create systems. It's going to take all this time. It's going to take all this energy. What do I do? Well, the reality is it takes a lot less time and a lot less energy than you think. And I have a 6-step checklist that I can send over to you for free. There's going to be an opportunity for you to text me. In fact, I'm just going to post that on here right now, where you can text SOP please to this number, 512-402-3893. And I will send you a copy of my 6-step process for creating SOPs. But it's easier than you would think. The first part of the process is identify the purpose of the process. It sounds so silly, but people that you're going to be using these processes with, your employees, yourself, maybe your coworkers, your business associates, they need to know why the process exists. Anytime you roll out a change, anytime you roll out a new procedure, people want to know, what's the point? This is another task that I'm having to do. What's the point? And when you can get crystal clear on why it is that you do what you do, people will follow. So the first thing you want to do is identify the purpose of the procedure. And a lot of times that's going to go back to the purpose that you exist as a business. So for an example, in our chimney company, our purpose for existing is to provide peace of mind for our homeowners, that they can continue to use their appliances that give them safety and comfort. But our goal is to give them peace of mind while they're using it, right? So all of the processes that we create within our company are going to go back to that peace of mind promise that we created. Why are we creating this phone script? Because we want people to know about our peace of mind process. Why do we have this warranty? Because we want people to know about our peace of mind process. So when you're thinking about, why should I create SOPs? Think about, why does your business, your entity, your nonprofit, why does it exist to begin with? And everything else, all of your processes will roll back up to that. Number 2, identify who's affected by the process, who's going to work it, who's going to communicate it, right? Number 3, what is your communication plan? How do you let people know about the process? Who's going to roll it out? Who's going to write it? Here's a caveat. I'm going to tell you this. And this is a personal belief. You can choose to do this however you want, obviously. However, I have learned that I don't just give processes over to people and say, okay, you write it. My employees do not write our standard operating procedures. My employees at Top Hat do not write our rules of the game. Why? Well, for a couple of reasons, but the number one reason is because my vision as the owner is going to dictate why and how that SOP is created. If I give that to an employee to write, now I may get them to write down what is your piece of that process? What are the nuts and the bolts of how it's handled, right? When our estimator is working on our estimates process, she's going to write down, click here, point here, dab here. But the overall process is written by myself as the owner of the company, or in this case, I would have contracted myself, to write that process out, because nobody is going to honor a process the same way you would as the owner if they write it from their own lens of understanding. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you catch that, but we can chat about it later. Okay. Number 4, what is your desired outcome of your process? You got to know that, right? What is it I want to achieve? With my customer service phone calls, when people call in and I have a process for how we answer the phone, what is it that my goal is? Well, my goal is to satisfy every customer and to book at least 90% of the calls that come in. That is my goal. So my process has to support that goal that I have, right? What does the process look like from start to finish? That's your ABC 1, 2, 3. And then finally, how long or how often does this process get evaluated or shifted or changed? Here's a good example. Pricing may be one of those that you have in place for how frequently you change your pricing, how frequently you monitor the economic conditions in your area, or those types of things. And we can certainly work one-on-one with how that works. But I wanted to really come to you today and remind you that if your vision for your business, for your nonprofit, for your entity, or for your life really is to grow and expand and to reach your fullest potential, having standard operating procedures is a huge key to helping make that happen. And again, I would love to send you this 6-step process that I created on creating standard operating procedures so that you can have the success that you deserve and that you desire in the business that you do. Thank you so much for watching this video with me. Again, you can text help or SOP please to 512-402-3893, and you will get a copy of this 6-step process. And in fact, I'll also include just a breakdown of some of the standard operating procedures that were imperative for our business and for my brick and mortar company. And I can either help you or you can create your own there. But thank you again for watching. I really and truly hope that this brings some clarity to you around what system generation looks like, what creating SOPs could be, and why it's so important for the growth of your organization. You can follow me at teresapoor.com or, of course, on Facebook for more tips and videos. Thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, I am here to help you live your life's purpose by living your life on purpose. Have a great day.